I want to start with like, where did your like love for games start, and when did you first know that you wanted to be involved in game development?
Yeah. It was like 6 years old, and my brother he bought a Sega Genesis 16-bit, and he was involved in the Virtua Fighter game a lot. So I
Mm.
used to like come home from school and play with him. And my parents kept telling me that I never looked at a game as a game. I used to always ask, how all the characters inside the game moved, and all those questions, which they kind of like started to realize that, maybe probably one day I might be super interested in this field. And as I kept pursuing my education and everything, I realized at one point of time I was only drawn towards games. As a kid, a lot of people love dolls and all that, but then I always ended up only asking for consoles and different games. And I never stuck in particular to one genre. So I used to like play different genres, and that's when I started to like play. I think when I was around like 15 years old, 14, 15 years old. That's when I was not just playing it for entertainment's sake, but I was also like looking a lot into, how exactly the environment is,
Mm.
and how it works, like how the players are moving. I started to research about it. And that's when I figured out that I have a big passion for
Nice.
work, to know what exactly I need to do to get in to a game industry.
Yeah. So what was that like? Like at what age did you decide, you know what, this is something I actually want to do and am starting to think about doing?
I think it was right about when I joined my undergrad. So when I joined my undergrad in information technology engineering, I was pretty much aiming for like visual communication. So I did not know what exactly I wanted to do in the game industry, but I was very passionate about like animation, development side. And some part of me always said that, I wanted to be in a producer position. So like as I started to like research and learn about everything, that's when I realized, okay, yeah, I need to have a degree that gives me bit about programming, and then like I still learn about like the IT world and everything. So I think that's where it was like about like second year into my degree program. This was when I was like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Okay. And then how, like, what was that path like for you? What did that decision then mean for you to like set you on the right path to be able to do it?
Um, Honestly, it was like, I mean, I was struggling because I did not know anybody. Like, especially, I did not know any other women who were there in the game industry. To begin with, I was a bit scared. So I was like, okay, what am I going to get myself into? How am I going to get my foot in the door? And what do I need in order to like actually get to this place? So that's when I was researching sometime like close to I think end of graduation was when I came about like Full Sail.
Mm.
So I was like trying to find out like a contact, and then I came through an agency in Chennai, like that's where I'm from. And they actually helped me to connect with a person named Anu. She works for Full Sail, but
Okay.
she's in India. So she kind of like gave me a good idea about what's the different degree programs related to gaming, and what I needed to do in order to get into Full Sail, like what are the things I need to apply. And then she connected me with a couple of people. She asked me to talk to some people on LinkedIn, and I went on to LinkedIn, connected with a couple of people, just understood what different degree programs look like. And so that's when I realized, okay, I want to get into like masters in game design. And then like hearing about the different tracks, I was like, okay, producer is what I want to do. So
All right. Interesting. And so, yeah, and that production degree was right up your alley, I think.
yeah.
And that was pretty clear when we had some of our earliest conversations that that was where you wanted to be, right? But it's tough when you're thinking about, you know, getting into the industry if you have loves in different parts of what, of what's going to be, there's a lot of options, right? It's sometimes it's
Hmm.
hard to kind of pick which one sounds the best to you.
Actually, honestly speaking, yeah, because I'm good at art too. So I was super drawn towards like 3D modeling. So I was thinking like, maybe I should also take up like the 3D artist track, because I started to like, model like environment props. And then I like in Maya, and I really liked texturing. So I was at one point of time, and plus I'm international, right? So there's a lot of challenges when it comes to job hunting when you come into a new country, and you have to like stand out really well. So I had like two things I had in mind. One was either I'm going to take like the artist track, or I'm going to take the production track. So this is where I was at, and I was making sure that I was like learning both these skill sets in a balanced way, so that when I apply for jobs, I can like apply for both, and whichever hits first, I'll get in.
Nice. That's interesting. Yeah, when I
Thank
got
you.
into the industry, it was like there weren't a lot of options as far as, degrees went. So I was like, I'm going to learn game development. But throughout
Mhm.
game development, I was like, I'm not like I'm good at programming, but I don't enjoy programming. So
Mhm.
that was where the move to design was the right one for me, and it's worked out. I can't complain. So
Yeah, I think I remember speaking with you during, I think it was Hall of Fame back in 2019, I guess. So I was talking to you like a couple of months before that, and then we kept connecting again and again. But that's when you were telling me, because I was confused. Remember, like I was like, hey, I want to do production, but at the same time, I have these skill sets too. So that's when you were like, you can always get into being a 3D artist, and then like, work your way up to become like an art producer. So that kind of like opened my eye, and I was like, okay, so now I have a path, and then now I want to see what else I can do with this path. And I kept like, researching and learning, and I was like doing as much as I can. Thanks to the capstone that we have at Full Sail, that really helped me to like, brush up my facts on what I learned before, as well as like what else I was learning through the degree program that actually helped me to be where I am today.
nice. Yeah, no, that's great. I remember our conversations, and I have a bad memory, but I think I remember all of our conversations because your drive and like your determination were two things that were always very clear to me, right? It was not can I do this? It was how am I going to do this, right? And what's the right way to do this? And what's the best way for me to get there? I love those
Mhm.
conversations. And
Thank
and
you.
and you continue to continue and do your career the way that you want to do it, which I love. So it's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. I mean, trust me. I think meeting you and couple more people that I know of, not just pertaining to like the game degree program, but also with like Jack Geckler, for example.
Hmm.
He was from a different degree program, and then Leslie. So learning from all of you people, like what your experience was and what challenges you faced, and like what are the things that you did in order to figure out where you wanted to be in your industry. I think those are the lessons that really helped me a lot as I was going through my journey into like getting into the industry. So like huge kudos to all of you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. And those guys are awesome. And the nice thing is the entertainment industry, right? Like there's so much similarity across the different mediums. So,
Mhm.
and they operate similarly, at least a little bit, enough to where you can understand like, oh, this path and method works over there. It might not be the same over here, but at least I understand kind of how people think and how people work. And that stuff is super valuable, especially when you're talking to someone that is at the height of their career, like say Leslie is, like it's there's some great wisdom you can grab there for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And it was not just like pertaining to like how exactly I need to get things done, but also like the stories, the experience that they have, the struggles that they
Yeah.
faced, right? That's what I think was the most important lesson that I learned, and that's what got me through. And because I know it's not an easy journey. It's definitely like a big roller coaster ride that I had the last couple of years in order to be where I am today. So I during those times, that's all that kept me going, was to like like all the stories that I heard, and the challenges, and like how exactly they tackled it.
Mm.
So that's what helped me to, get into the role that I want to as well.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to touch a little bit on your time at Full Sail. So so there's an online program, but I don't think that you had an option for doing game design masters online, right?
No, because especially when you're coming from some other country, right? Like being international, you have to be on campus in order to get a visa to be in the US.
Uh,
So that was one of the major things. And plus, I think it was only like on campus degree program when I was there in 2018.
yeah,
If I'm not wrong.
yeah,
Yeah.
I believe that's right. I'm actually not even sure if it's online available now. Is it? I'm not sure.
Oh, I heard it is
I think it
masters.
might be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but it sounds like your goal was to physically be in the U.S. Outside of just being here for school. Like your hope was to kind of work here.
Yeah, because it's like I've been traveling to the US from the age of 8, and one of the main reasons is my aunt who lives here.
Oh.
She's in Virginia, and she's one of my biggest how do I say, like, pillar of support. So
Mm-hmm.
she's the one who always like keeps motivating me, and she says, you have to come here one day because I can see a lot of drive in you, and I'm sure you'll stand out really well. And this country especially has a lot of scope for entertainment industry. So, and I know that this is where I also wanted to be to become more successful. I didn't have that big of a luck back home. So I did do a couple of things back home with my undergrad, but I know this is also a land of opportunities. So that's why I fixed my mind a couple of years back that this is where I want to be.
That's nice. I want to meet that aunt someday. I love it when you have a family member that like encourages you that way. It was a cousin
Yeah.
for me. Like the whole reason I'm doing this is because my cousin like brought me down to Full Sail, let me live with him. Like he really, really kind of enabled me to get started. And that's a big part of it for me.
Definitely, yeah. If it wasn't for her, my grandfather, I wouldn't be here doing this right now, because they were like my biggest support, and they always encouraged me to pursue my dream. So they were like, don't worry about who says what. Like, it's what you want to do, go do that. And whether it's going to be a success or if it's not going to work out, doesn't matter. At least you'll have the satisfaction that you tried. So that's what like motivated me also to come here.
Nice. That's a great perspective.
Yeah. Thank
So,
you.
was there a bit of a culture shock when you got to school? Like Full Sail is an intense program, right? Like there's a lot that's required of you on top of like, your own personal kind of, agenda and the things that you want to do on top of what's required. So I imagine it had to be a bit of a change for you to kind of jump in and be in that environment.
Yeah. From being a tourist to actually like coming and living here, it was a big challenge actually. First thing, I mean, don't get me wrong, but I was like, okay, you know what? I've already traveled like a couple of years, so I don't think this is going to be that tough, and it's going to be a piece of cake. So the first thing that hit me was, so I'm used to like living around a lot of people back home, with like relatives and my dad's siblings and all that. So it was like all of a sudden I was just in my apartment. Like it struck me like when I went to first day to school, I went, attended my classes, I got back, and then I just came to an empty house. So that was the first shock
Uh,
that I had. And then I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Because I don't know to cook. I have never done laundry by myself. So that was two major things that I needed to like, seriously learn while I was here. So it was a big shock for me. I was like, oh my goodness, I need to do things by myself because of how much we are babied at home, back home. So it was like, that was one challenge that I need to do because, like, studying, yes, even like studying for that matter. Back home, we had a lot of, we say like tuition centers where we can like go and learn apart from what we study at school. So I was like, okay, I have to like self-learn. That's a biggest task because I spent pretty much my entire time like playing games back home right after school. So I was like, okay, either way, it's gonna be my granddad or my dad or my mom who's gonna sit and like teach me when exams are nearing. But now it's like I have to manage all my schedule myself. that that was one of the biggest shocks. But um, one good thing was I'm an extrovert, so I really enjoyed meeting people, and I really, really loved the interaction that I had. And one thing I was really grateful for was I'm glad I did this degree program way before COVID happened. So I was able
Yeah.
to like actually get the in-person interaction and being part of all the events that happen and like speak with grads and all that. But to begin with, it was a big culture shock, and International Student Society actually helped me get through most of it. So even being part of that was actually very helpful for me.
Yeah, that's really really nice, right? Like having those kind of common groups, or people that have similar situations to kind of work through that kind of thing.
Mhm.
That's really nice. That goes a long way cuz what's the time difference between you and your family currently?
So it's I think 12 hours. So right now it's like 4:30 here. It's like 5 a.m. back home.
Okay. Yeah, see
Yeah.
that makes it really difficult, right? Because like when
Yeah.
you're heading to bed, they're waking up, those kind of things are happening and that support structure is limited. Like
Yeah.
apart from even being already, physically absent. So that it's
Mm-hmm.
really nice that you can find and those kind of groups are available to help, and those the nice thing about, and I've only been to Full Sail University, but I know the kind of things they have. There's groups for everyone, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
wherever you came from, whatever you're interested in, whatever, like it's really nice that you can find common ground and people going through the same situation that you are.
Exactly. Yes. And that was one of the main challenges, like, speaking to family back home because of the time difference. And half the time, like, after I come back home, done with my assignments, I'm like dead tired. I go and crash. And then they're wondering, like, is she alive or is something happened to her? Because I don't pick up calls. Like, I turn off my internet and I just crash. And then in the morning when I wake up, I'm like, hey, hi. So that's what was a big adjustment for me, my family, and especially back then my fiance. So now we're married. So
Yeah, I'm glad you brought
yeah,
that up because that is a huge thing as well, right? Like you moved away from your significant other, right? Like
yeah,
that is a humongous change and takes a certain level of determination, but also belief in what
Mhm.
you're doing, right? So I imagine that was not an easy decision.
True. Yeah. I mean it. I mean, to be honest, I joke about it all the time because we are like cat and dog, like fighting all the time, and like with long distance, I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? Like because every time we start a conversation, we have something or the other to argue about, and then it was not going well in like over phone call, and I was like and plus we get to only see each other once a year because he wasn't able to come here. His visa kept getting delayed. So we did this for like almost 4 years until like last month he was finally able to move with me permanently. So it
Wait,
was a big challenge.
so he's with you now?
Yeah, he's with me
I did
now.
not
He was
realize
finally,
that. That's awesome.
yeah, thank you.
That's
He just
great.
moved here permanently last month. He was able to visit last year for a couple of months and then he came back this year. But then like maximum he can only stay here for like 5 6 months. So he had to like go back home every time and then like come back here. And now he's more permanent here, which is a good thing.
That's
So
great. Yeah, I love that. That's
yeah.
awesome.
Thank you. But yeah, it was a challenge. It was a very big challenge, and definitely his support also meant a lot to me because it was not easy. I got engaged and then I came here, but then I had to run back to get married in 2019, and I think it was just like 3 weeks I was there after my wedding. I had to like come back, so that like pissed him off big time. So so yeah,
Yeah, that's this industry is hard on relationships at times, or it can
yeah.
be. But yours is compounded, right? Like you've got a whole lot of extra variables that those of us who, were born and raised here don't have to deal with.
True. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. So I think in a way also that for me, especially like back home, I wasn't very serious about things. I like that was one of my reasons is like my dad. He gave us a pretty good life, so he still does. But one thing I was like, I did not, how do I say, like I wasn't like this firm in where I wanted to be when I was back home. I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. And I always like craved to be independent and do things on my own. So one thing I really love about this country and like living here is that you can actually like really become very independent and do a lot of things on your own that you cannot do back home.
Mm.
So those are the things that I learned a lot over here. And even when my time at Full Sail, like Deanna was one of my, I was a big fan of her, like super awesome mentor. So she pretty much taught me how, like, crazy life can be over here, like, how much we have to put in efforts and how the work ethics are, and how much you have to, like, be independent. Like, because I still kept being very dependent on, like, what my dad would say for this, or like, what my fiance would think. And I was a bit hesitant on taking decisions when I was here, doing a lot of things like, moving to places, or like, traveling and like finding work and just trying to be in my comfort zone. But I think a lot of that I really had to learn, because that was also one of my, things that I had to like learn, part of my life journey. So, which was a very good thing, because my dad did not really take me seriously before. So once I started to show him that, I can do all this by myself, he now has greater respect for what I do, and how I am and how I lead life right now, which is actually a big achievement for me, part of my life. So, yeah.
That is awesome. I really like that. It's funny how
Mhm.
memorable those moments can be. Is I had the
Yeah.
same one where like my parents obviously don't really understand what I do, right? Like I can try to explain it to them, but I remember when I got my job at Oddworld, and my dad, when I told him about it, he goes, "Can you do the work?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Great." Like it's to him, it's like, "Are you capable?" Because it sounds great. If you're capable, this is awesome. And I'm like, "Yes, I can do it. We're good." He's like, "Awesome. Let's go." So
Yeah. Pretty much, I experienced pretty much the same, because I think it was in 2017 when I started to apply for colleges in the US. And my dad, his business requires him to like keep traveling, and I only get to see him once a month. So since the time I was born, so I didn't spend pretty much too much time with him throughout my life. And he's also very overprotective. So the moment I went up to him and I said, like, hey, what? I'm gonna go apply, and I want to do my master's in gaming. So I'm looking at these colleges and these degree programs. And the first thing that came out of his mouth was like, so all these years you spent time playing games, and now you want to do that as your profession?
Yep.
That's where it hit me. I was like, oh, I did not expect this coming my way. And then I was like, I can do it. And he was like, how many women do you know are there in this particular degree program? And like, how many have you seen successful? And I was like, you know what? There are a lot of people who are successful, but I also want to be one of them. And I want to, like, I have a lot of skills that I want to like showcase, and I want to make a difference in the world. So I definitely want to go, because he was against me coming here. So it took some time for me to like convince him, but then I got the admission at Full Sail, and then I went to him and I was like, you know what, I got accepted, so I have to leave. Yeah. So
I love that. I
and
mean,
then now he's.
it's a
I'm sorry.
valid concern for him, right? Like it's
Yeah.
especially in an industry that he doesn't know and understand, and
Hmm.
but but this is definitely an industry that takes the kind of determination that you're talking about, and or at least to do well.
Yeah, and I think I definitely understood where he was coming from, given the time we spent together, and how much he's been like doing a lot for my family, and he's been like always on the run. And I know with what I do on a day to day basis, he doesn't understand much. But I kind of like sat down. I showed him a couple of games actually. I played with him, and then I showed him, and then I was like, it would be really cool to have this as a job. And he understood after a while, and he was like completely supportive after that. But his main concern was like, how am I going to be by myself and take care of like not only myself but studying and everything. So I think by the time I graduated, he at least visited me like 2 to 3 times to make sure I was okay. So So yeah, I'm grateful for everything he's done till date, and I want to make him proud and me too. So that's why I'm working really hard in a way to achieve my dreams.
That's that's all a parent can ask for, right? It's speaking from experience, right? So I don't know if you know this, but my son is starting at Full Sail on Monday.
I saw that. I think
So
you had posted on Facebook for a while
yeah. So
for
like
it. Yeah.
it's so I get it a little bit, right? Like it's wild just to think about, you know, that your child is now going to go off on their own and try to do something they care about instead of just finding a job to, you know, to survive. Like I
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing him, you know, kind of head toward that kind of experience like I had, because no one in my family did that. Everybody did a job, you know, and
Yeah.
I'm all about the find something that you love to do. Like to this day, I love what I do.
Same here. So I mean, this is where I wanted to be, and I'm happy that I'm here because every life before coming here, I was like, I mean, to be very honest, I wasn't like enjoying too much of what I was doing, but now I have like zero regrets. Like I wake up with a smile on a Monday morning and happy throughout the week, in like every project that I work on and with every team that I work on for.
Mm,
So I'm like really happy now.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
So let's back up a little bit and talk about how you got there, right? Because now
Yeah.
you're here, you're at Full Sail, and the master's program is 12 months. For those that don't know, it's a pretty intense, you know, get this thing done type of thing. You already had your bachelor's, and you come in for this. What was your overall experience like?
I was shocked, to be very honest. I was like, how am I going to learn everything in like 12 months? That was like that was like question number one for me. Like the first day I met Robin Coleman, I was like, and she was telling about like how the course is going to be and what we're going to do each month and what we're going to learn. I was my friend Ajay. He was one of my best friends during my time at Full Sail, and he was studying with me. I looked at his face and I was like, seriously, how am I going to get through this? I had 4 years in my undergrad and I struggled a lot to like get through, even though I had like at least 2 3 months for like each subject. I was like one subject each month, and we have to like learn about that like at least like entirely, right? So, but then every class, it was really fun as well as very interactive and hands-on learning. I think the most that helped me was the hands-on learning experience. I think that is something that's most needed for any degree program. And I'm glad that Full Sail focuses mainly on that because that's how I was able to understand and learn the concepts, because I did not have any knowledge on how a game was developed before I came to Full Sail. So I did learn about the engines. I kind of know how everything works on an overall basis, but like to go in depth and understand about how each um, part of the game development process works was really really fantastic. And coming from grads like who shared their experience with us, because I remember when I was in like month 4 in Robin Coleman's class, she invited a couple of grads from the industry and she asked them to give us a talk, and we kind of like understood about like how their journey was and what they learned and how they are actually like applying it in their course, I mean, like in their work right now. So all that really helped us. And with the capstone project, like working on the studio, like it's like you're actually going and working in a company. So that 6 months of experience was definitely very useful because we worked as a team. We built a game. We launched it, so it was really good.
Man, that so you I think you just described the thing that sets Full Sail apart, in my opinion. And for those that are listening, watching, this is absolutely not a Full Sail stream, right? Like like this is about us, but this is a big part of what, you know, how we got where we are. And I think the biggest thing is that hands-on, not just hands-on, but the completion of a project, right? Because closing, actually finishing something in game development is really hard. Like it's really hard. There's so many people who do side projects or whatever and they get, halfway there, whatever. That last 30% is really, really difficult.
Yeah. And I talk about Full Sail a lot. The reason why is because that's where I, as a person, changed a lot, and I was able to build my career from there. So that was like a major starting point for me, and I got all my support from there. So anywhere I talk about what I do and how successful I am right now is because of all the learnings and the people from Full Sail who have given me their support and their time till now. So that's why you hear a lot about that from me.
It's important, right? Like
Yeah.
networking on its own is super important in this industry. And you had the ability to network with a lot of really cool people before you even graduated.
Yeah. And trust me, back home, I didn't even know about the term networking. So I know I used to reach out and talk to people, but not like how I did it in Full Sail and how I learned how to do networking in Full Sail. So that, and I have like top 5 questions that I ask people, and how exactly you should put yourself out there. That's how Deanna turned it. She's like, put yourself out there, talk about yourself. That's how you learn about what people are doing and what challenges they faced and how they are in today's industry and what they are achieving right now, and that's how you can also learn and in the future like give back the same way. So I think I think I network with more than like 50, 60 grads, and I still see how they are progressing in the industry, and from time to time I get to speak with a couple of them, so I'm in touch with a lot of people, and learning from their experience has made me a better person in the industry today. So
You said something that I don't touch on enough when people ask for advice on networking, because usually my advice to people is ask someone about themselves, because everyone knows how to talk about themselves, right? And that is my biggest piece of advice. But the thing that you've kind of touched on here is opening yourself up to someone makes them comfortable doing the same, right? And so that starts that sharing of information, and like real information, and that's really nice.
Thank you. Yes, I do talk about where I'm from, what I'm doing, and what I've achieved before, and what are a couple of projects that I've worked on before. So that kind of like gives them like an insight of who I am
Yeah.
and where I'm from and what I'm doing, and makes them more comfortable to share some tips for me as to how I can pursue my career here. So that's how I was able to interact with a lot of people and learn.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Thank you.
So as you were finishing up your time in school,
Mhm.
what was your thought process on applying for your first position in the industry? How did you go about that?
Yeah, one thing everybody scared me about was apply 6 months before. Don't wait till the last day. So I think I started to job hunt like 6 months before graduation, and I was, the things that I did not know. One were how to have your resume done. So I kind of had like a basic one from back home. I reached out to career development. That's another thing that I really have to mention about, because career development at Full Sail has seriously done a great job in helping us build our resume and connecting us with grads close to graduation and getting us the opportunity, because Mark is one of my heroes at Full Sail. He literally, I think I was working in BTS, and which is behind the scenes tour. So I was working as a tour guide as a part time job, and I was studying at Full Sail. And when I think it was close to the end of the session, and I met Ari Patrick over there. So after that, that's when I kind of learned about an internship opportunity that was opening up in Epic Games.
Mm.
So I immediately emailed my career advisor, and she connected me to Mark. And Mark, at think it was on a Saturday, and it was at the very last moment I was able to get in and submit my resume. Before that, Kendra, she helped me build my resume and everything, and I think the interview that happened there spot on Saturday was the one that got me into the job. Like, I mean, I was like, you know what? I don't know if this is going to happen because it's a really huge company and it's my first time in the industry. So I mean, I was like 50-50, but then I gave it a shot and we had like a really great conversation. I think 2 weeks from then, Eddie got back to me and he said, I want you to talk to my senior producer and have like an interview with her. So, and everything goes well after that, you're in for the internship. And I was like
Nice.
in all tears after that. So,
Was
it
that
was,
after you had graduated?
no, it was way before graduation.
Okay.
I graduated with my internship in hand.
I love that.
Yeah.
Nice. All
Thank
right.
you.
So let's talk about that. So you graduate, and so it sounds like you graduate and then you took off right after graduation to do this, or
Yeah.
okay.
So being international, you have to wait for like your work permit card. It's called an EAD card. So we have to wait for that in order to go start officially working for an employer. So I waited like I think max 2 weeks for that to like come in, but I already had my offer letter and everything. So I waited for like 2 weeks and then I left to North Carolina right after that to work.
Nice. So let's talk about internships in general.
Yeah.
So what was the structure of this one? Was it a set amount of time, and then but they brought you on, and so there's different ways this happens, right? Like I'm not a fan of unpaid internships at all. I assume this was a paid one. And was there like housing and stuff involved in this, or was it like how was it structured?
Yeah, so it was a paid internship, and best part was they gave us housing, so didn't have to worry about anything for like 6 months. It was a fixed time, so I had like for 6 months the internship. It started somewhere around. I graduated on June 2019, and this one started right next month, like so July through December
Okay.
2019.
Nice.
Yeah,
And right,
and I
and
was
you
working for the Unreal Engine ray tracing team.
okay, very cool. And so
Thank you.
what, I mean, I don't know how much you can say, but what was that experience like? Because now you're jumping in working with one of the biggest companies in the industry, right? Like did you work closely with anyone you already knew?
No, honestly, I only knew Ari from school. I know that he was from Full Sail, so because I already met him there. But other than that, I did not know anybody there. I know there were already like Full Sail grads who were working at Epic, but I did not run across any of them. But it was a really good experience, and I think the one that I really needed in order to proceed my career in like different companies. But it was very intense. Like I was shadowing Addy most of the times. I took on like a couple of projects. One of them were like hair and fur features tool for Real Engine 5. And on top of that was like one of the biggest and exciting projects that I worked on. And on top of that, like, helping with the bug tracking and like, managing like the development team of like, I think 6 people were there at that point of time. So helping them with their tasks and everything were one of my another like I think top few projects that I worked on. So it was really cool, and also getting to like be in the review room and watch the trailer for like games and stuff was like very exciting. So I think that was something I really needed.
Nice. And so that you said that was 6 months. And
6 months, yeah.
so was there how many different like what was the cycles like there? Was it something you were doing different each month, or did you do one thing over the whole course of it? Like how was it kind of structured?
So every 2 months once I was doing something different.
Okay.
Yeah, and but then this one project here in for pictures, I think I started in month 3, and that lasted for throughout my internships. That was the main thing that I focused on there.
And going into it, what was your level of familiarity with the Unreal Engine?
Zero.
Zero. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fine.
because yeah, and that was completely fine because I had good knowledge on Unity and Unreal Engine. I just know how it works, and I knew the difference between Unreal and Unity. So at that point of time, that was the thing that was I was like very honest about. It's always good to be very honest during your interview,
Hmm.
as to what you know and what you don't know, and so that you can like have that learn and growth mindset when you are entering the industry or like for any particular company, because that's what they appreciate the most. I think one of the key points that they mentioned, why they chose me, was I had a keen interest for like learning and growing within the company.
Yeah.
So that's what got me in.
Yeah, that is a big deal. You know, a lot like seeing your showing your passion. Like I think it is a big deal because the thing that's interesting is all of this
Mhm.
stuff can be taught, right? Like
Yeah.
nobody's going to expect you to come in, hit the ground. They don't need to teach you anything. You just do the job, right? That's not the point of an internship. It's about
Hmm.
learning who you are, how you fit, you know,
Yeah.
what are you capable of?
Hmm. Yeah. And to be honest, like I met people from other teams, and they shared like the same passion that I have for accessibility in gaming, and I was able to like learn from other people about how they are actually utilizing the Unreal Engine and the tool side to make it more accessible, friendly for differently able people.
All right, I want to touch on that a little bit. It
Yeah.
sounds like, and I'm just gonna ask this question, and I'll see if you
Yeah.
have an answer to it. What
Yeah.
is your passion in game development? Like, what is the thing that you most want to work on, help with, make better?
Yes, I every day I get to work. The only thing that is there in the top of my mind is how we can make a game accessibility friendly. So how everybody who even who are differently able can be able to play games as how we are playing. So that's the most important thing that runs in my mind every time I work with the studio. I'm looking into a concept like a game concept and seeing like does it have accessibility features. So that's what I want to do like going forward as well. Like I want to focus more on the accessibility side, and that's pretty much the passion that I have in gaming.
I love it. Have you met Tara Volker yet?
I have. She's a very busy person, but I've heard a lot of things about her. She's working with one of the teams that I'm working side by side with at Microsoft. So
All right. Yeah, she's I've known her for a long time. She's been on here a couple of times. She's whenever
mhm.
I think of accessibility, she's the first person that comes to mind. So if you
Yeah.
guys haven't really connected, I want to make sure you do. We'll get you guys to talk because she's such a good resource and she loves it so much.
Yeah, I'm actually like, so one of her bosses is like a really good friend of mine, and he did mention that he'll connect me with her soon. And I know she's working on a lot of projects right now, so I'm hoping to like get to speak with her sometime soon.
Okay, that sounds
Yeah,
good. Yeah, you definitely should. Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. I've seen her work actually. From time to time, I'm part of an accessibility group, so I kind of see, like the documents that she builds in order to educate people who don't know about that, and then a lot of speakers that she invites, because accessibility has like various, how do I say, like there are like different scenarios. So um, even people who cannot hear or who cannot see properly. So there are like a lot of categories. So she kind of like gives us sessions with like people who have different challenges, and we kind of like learn from them. And she's doing a lot on that space, to be very honest. So
Yeah.
I really admire her for her.
Nice. Yeah. No, she absolutely. That's what I think about when I think of her, or when I
Yeah,
think of that, I think of her. I guess I should say.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Is there anything I've got a series of questions I want to ask that I call the dev round, but I think a good time to do that's going to be during our transition from Epic to whatever's next. So, is there anything else about your time at Epic you want to make sure that you mention or talk about? Anything on your mind?
Nothing that's running at the top of my mind, but learning from Airy was definitely very, very helpful for me. So I think that makes me also be a better organized person at work. So
Yeah, that's totally understandable.
yeah, he's super organized. So I learned a lot about that from him.
I've been trying to get him on here. I need to reach out to him again. He's a busy man.
Yeah, yeah, he is. But yeah, I don't have anything else at the top of my mind.
Okay. All right. So these questions are the dev round, and I ask all of my guests these, and
Okay.
I think they're fun. So you ready for the first one?
Yeah, sure.
All right. What is your favorite game of all time and why?
Oh, that's a really good one. It's I have way too many, but then this is the one that came at the top of my mind. It's like EA Sports built a cricket game back in 2005.
I played that game.
So yeah, so back home in India, like we're huge on that. So I really enjoyed that, and I used to like play it in real life. So I enjoy playing that game the most. That was one of the major games that I like. I was super fixed into. So
All right. That's definitely a first time for that answer. So
yeah.
and it might be the only time I get that answer.
Okay.
No.
Probably, yeah.
No, I love it. I think it's great.
Thank you.
All right. So this one, we'll probably end up touching on this a little bit, but when did you first feel like you had made it in game development?
Um, that's a really great question. I think when I first, so I'm with the publishing side right now. So when I helped like the couple of studios that I work with, I published three games. I think 3 months or 2 months into the role. So I think that's when I was like, yay! And I got those physical discs on my desk one day when I went into work. So I was like, that's when I felt like, okay, yeah, now I made it. And
That's awesome.
I feel proud. Yeah.
Yeah, seeing something like being handed a physical copy of something you contributed to is a
Mhm.
really big deal. Like a really big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
I agree.
Thank you.
All right. What advice would you give to someone who's looking for their first job in the industry?
I always say this. First thing is network. Learn from a lot of people, as many people as you can, because networking is one of the key points that helped me get into the industry. Learning from other people's experience. Be very active on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, like will do wonders in many ways. And being connected with people in the industry and constantly trying to whatever projects you do, like voicing out on LinkedIn has definitely helped me get more attention and more, how do I say, more mentorship as well. Like a lot of people were willing to also like mentor me, and also looking and like playing more games. Most important, playing more games, whether you finish it or not. Like having experience of playing different genres and trying to understand how everything works is definitely one of the most important things that I've noticed, which made a big impact in my career. So.
You know, I don't hear that advice often enough. I agree with you. I think it's super important, and it's something I struggle with, just finding time to play, because staying up on industry, current industry things, and seeing how
Mhm.
games are working and how they're getting information across to players. That stuff's
Yeah.
really important. Really important.
Trust me, because I've been through like 6, 7 rounds of interview, and the questions that came my way were mind blowing. So that was also one of the that was also one of the reasons why I got into playing more games frequently because of that. I had stopped in the middle, like after my degree program, and I started to work. I was not playing I used to play like 10 hours a day. So
Oh wow.
um, yeah, so like that hard gamer. So and then I put a full stop to that because I was focusing more on my work. And then when I started to again apply and get into interviews and the questions that came my way, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna play. I bought like 10 different games and I was like playing. So yeah.
Wow. 10 hours a day. That's I haven't done that since I was unemployed last. So
Trust me, my dad, that was one of the reasons why he took my PS4. So yeah, and then I went to him and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do my degree in this, and he was like, okay, take it back. So yeah.
All right. All right. This next question is a little bit of a thinker.
Hmm.
If you were born in the year 1870, what kind of
Wow.
job
Okay.
or career do you think you would have had?
1870. That's way before I was even born.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's over 100 years before I was born. So,
Right. I don't even know how. Oh wow. Mm,
I love this question because I think it's thought provoking. Basically,
yeah,
what
it
would you
is.
do if there was no electricity? Is what it boils
It is.
down to, right?
It is. Now I have to like go back to 1870 and think what was there and what was not there. So, um, okay, it's just random. Okay, so I'm a big foodie, so I love trying new restaurants and like eating food. Probably I would have been in a job that like pays me for just going and trying out new restaurants and then food and stuff. But I don't know.
You want to be like a food critic?
Yeah,
All right. For the newspaper, which is like the only method of information.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right. It's the first time I've gotten that answer too. I like it.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. What about if you were born in 2070? Imagine what you think it's going to be like, 50 years from now. What kind of thing would you want to do?
Oh, definitely be in gaming.
Yeah.
So, but I know it's gonna be all like VR and AR, like probably by 2070. So definitely in gaming. So.
I mean, at that point, we're talking like full immersion experience, probably, right? Like
Yeah.
Ready
Yeah.
Player One, we're inside of some kind of simulation.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is wild to me. Like just
Yeah. Ready Player One, Troy, all these movies, and even the one that came right now, Free Guy, right?
yeah,
I think it's Free Guy.
yeah. I haven't seen
The
that
guy with the
yet, but
blue
I know what
shirt.
you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was like mind blown by all those movies. So.
That's the thing that's really interesting to me when I think about things like Westworld and like those
Mhm.
kind of future experiences. Like my mind connects. Like I see it. I see that we're going to get there. Like that we
Yeah,
can get there, and it's equal parts interesting and terrifying.
definitely agree with that. Yeah.
All right, I got one last question for the dev round. You ready for this?
Yep. Sure.
Who would you recommend that I invite to come on the show next?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm thinking. So is it like with only game industry, right?
Yes.
Okay. The next person that's coming to the top of my mind. Oh wow, there are like way too many people.
I
Um,
mean, you can send me a list too, but
okay. You know what? I think that's better because I know I have a lot of people that are coming to my mind, but a person who I know would be a really good is Taylor Collins. She's also someone who is interested and who's also working on the accessibility space. So she'd also be a great fit.
I know Taylor. That's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
All
But I'll
right.
send you a list for sure.
What's that?
I'll send you a list for sure.
Okay.
There are
Yeah.
like so many people I know who would be really a great. You love listening to their stories.
Okay. That man, that's my favorite part. Like everybody has a different story, and
Yeah,
right down from like why they got into it, why they care about it, how they got started, what they care, like what their focus is. It's always interesting because somebody out there needs to hear everyone else's story that's doing it, right? And I love that we get a chance to kind of present that to people.
definitely. Yes, I agree.
All right. So, you've been doing an internship at Epic. You were there for 6 months. As that was I'm curious about two things. As that was coming to an end, was there an opportunity for it to turn into something different? And if or if not, what were you looking to try and do elsewhere at that point?
So, I think it was 6 months down the lane, and I was also in a difficult situation at that point in time because I had to, like, things were getting really intense with planning for my wedding, and family were like, what are you going to do? Like, how long is this going to keep going? Because he's here, you're there, what's
Yeah.
going to happen and everything. So I kind of ended my internship like, I think 5 days or 6 days earlier, because I they already fixed the date for my wedding. Back. So that kind of left me in a very thought, and I did not have much of how do I say, like something to continue back in Epic. So I knew at one point of time, like, I might come into a situation like this. So what I did was, I started to like apply outside,
Mm-hmm.
but because of the networking skills that I had, and the contacts that I made in the industry, and the people I already know, not only just from my industry, like as in like my area of expertise, but also elsewhere, were really kind enough to recommend me as they came across like different positions. So I started to apply, and it was it was the first time when I actually walked into a Microsoft store. I went in to pick up a device, my brother-in-law actually. So I went in there, and I had already applied for like a lot of positions online, and I met a couple of people who work there, and I asked them like, hey, can you give me like a contact to like a recruiter or someone who I can reach out about like the positions that I've applied for. And they were like really nice because they really gave me a contact. And I think it's like you just have to gather up all the courage and just go and talk. Like sometimes I myself don't, I hesitate sometimes. So my mom was there with me that day, and she said like, why don't you just go and ask, because you've just been like, whining around, and like you've applied and you're waiting. And I kind of like had like 6 months before my first work authorization like permit expires. So I had to get into a more permanent job before June 2020 in order for me to like get like a 2 year extension to work in the US. So I was going through a lot at that point in time. So
And
I
this was
got
all
married.
pre-COVID, right? Like the
Yeah.
world
Oh no,
was
I was like,
normal, right?
no, no, no. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But when this happened to me, it was like the start of COVID.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, way before that, finding a job was pretty challenging, and that made it much worse. So one good thing that I did was to like talk to these people and get a contact through like at Microsoft, and I reached out to the recruiter, and she helped me further process my application. She reached out. We had like a call, like a 30-minute call, and then I had my interview, and that's when I joined in as a gaming expert for esports in the beginning, like May 11th, 2020. So I mean, like it was super hard for me till then, because I would have applied for over 400 jobs, and I would have got over like 250 to 300 rejections. So I mean, every day I wake up to, all I was like looking at was like rejection emails, and I could definitely understand, because of like my very less experience in the game industry, but I did have previous experience working for Amazon back home in India for 3 years as a visual designer. So
Oh.
that did not matter much, but still, like Epic Games made a huge difference working there for like 6 months as an intern, because lot of this, lot of like my experience getting into Microsoft was like based off of that. So they were like, okay, you work there for 6 months, we'll get you into an entry role, and going forward, we'll see how you perform, and then we'll keep like promoting you. And I think May 11th, that's when I started, and then I got to be an education engagement lead for esports. So I was particularly focusing on like the Florida community, like schools, and I was working with a lot of these education departments to build esports programs for them. And after that, I think last February was when I heard that I came into an entry role, so they wouldn't like sponsor visa for me,
Mm,
and that became super tricky for me,
yeah.
and which I did not know. I mean, like when you apply, you can like give in saying that you are looking for sponsorship, but then like after that, it became very tricky for me. Again, I started to like apply internally, because I was very stubborn about staying at Microsoft. I really love the culture and how the work ethic is there. That's like a place for like a lot of opportunities as well. So I decided to keep applying internally, and meanwhile I became a program manager for Game Pass team, with the Xbox Game Pass team. That was like a career experience for like 6 months that I got to work with that team, and then I landed in the production manager role with the Xbox third party publishing team.
Okay. So, like, what kind of, okay, yeah. So I want to touch on this. So I want to dig into this a little bit because
Yeah.
I get a lot of questions that I don't know how to answer about visas and kind of what that
Yeah.
situation is like, right? So you're ending your time at Epic. And for those that don't know, you have to be sponsored or have a green card, right? Like you have to have some kind of ability to be here and work here.
Cool.
And a lot of bigger game companies will sponsor people, right? They'll do that process for you. Um, but it can be tough, right? Like that can be tough to convince a studio to say, hey, we're going to go through all of this extra process for you instead of someone who already lives here that we don't have to do that with, right? So I have to imagine that's at least part of a conversation, right?
Definitely, because that comes up when so when you get interviewed, right? Like for example, the 7 rounds of interview that I had with my, each time I was jumping into roles, at least minimum 4 rounds. So at the very last, I keep getting the same question, like, why should we hire? Like, what would you bring new to the company and to the team? And like, with sponsorship and everything, they are pretty good at that actually, because they've come across a lot of international people. So they really like, pick talent, I would say. And especially like with me, I had like more than one skill set that I can offer for the team. So that was one thing that really standed out my behalf, because I'm a manager right now, but at the same time I can like dive deep into like anything technical as well. So it's not just like working with like game studios to see from game concept submission to like end to end submission, like till publishing. So I can even like sit and help them with their if they face any issues with their development. So that was one thing that really stood out, which is what my manager was telling me. He hired me. So and he's like, how do I say, it's a blessing to have him as a manager, because he's going through a lot, as I'm going through a lot with the whole visa process. So it's pretty new for him. I'm like the first Indian in his team, and he's never had to go through any of this visa process. So they've been like super supportive. And it's like you need to have, it's called H1B. So you need to have H1B in order to like work here, and keep getting extension for that for like a couple of years until you can get hold of your green card. So that's the trickiest part after you get like an initial work authorization, because you studied here. So if you come here for like a STEM program, you get like 3 years of work experience. I'm sorry, work permit
Mm-hmm.
that you can use to like get experience here. First year doesn't have to be paid, but the last 2 years it has to be paid, and then
Okay.
from there on it's up to the employer to like keep you here or send you.
Interesting. So,
Yes.
what? This is my ignorance asking. I'm curious about this. What are your options outside of employer sponsorship? So let's imagine you can't find a sponsor through work, or let's say you're laid off tomorrow, right? Like what do you have to go through at that point? Is it really just find a new job that will sponsor you?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Find a new job.
Okay.
Yeah, find a new job that will sponsor me. I'll have like 90 days before I find another job, so otherwise I have to go back home.
Wow. Okay.
uh,
Man,
yeah.
that's such an interesting thing, right? Like obviously something I don't have to think about or deal with very often. But I get the questions a lot and I never know how to answer them because like that's not something I've ever dealt with.
I completely understand that, but yeah, I mean, like, it's, how do I say, if you decide to move to another country, you just not only have to worry about like how successful you're going to be, but also like how successfully you're going to like keep your status there. So there are like two things to worry about. That's like, that takes a lot, because you have I don't remember. I think every time I get into this whole visa situation, I have like tons and tons of paperwork to do. So I
I
have to like
bet.
set my job aside and sit and work on that, and it's a lot, to be honest.
It sounds like it. Sounds awful.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
so so let I'm curious quickly now that your husband is here. I assume I have an idea of this answer, but what
Yeah.
is your long term goal? Like what do you where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years from now?
That's actually a really great question. So I have this I don't know, I'm obsessed with this. I want to work for like every company that I mean like every game that I really enjoyed. So I have a couple of companies that I have at the top of my mind. I'll slowly start to like aim for after I have a more permanent visa situation, because now I cannot afford to like jump anywhere. But like 5 to 10 years down there, I'll tell you my 5 year goal. 5 year goal is like, first of all, I want to get up to the executive producer level, and I want to be able to like work for a particular studio. 343 is one of the studios that I am aiming
Okay.
for Moyang. So these are like at the top of my mind, and eventually down the lane, I want to open a studio back home in India and give more opportunities for people back home in my
Interesting.
country, and like teach them about what is like game design, and what are the things that they can learn. I'm trying to find a collaboration between sale and like my university, so we can like have that cross collaboration and start to learn more about this degree program, and also give them opportunities to like build games and publish there, because one of the major things that even Microsoft is doing right now is trying to put in talent in like every country. There's like an incubator program that's going on. So I know someone who's in Bangalore who's actually like working with indie developers there. So using all these opportunities, I want to open up a studio to going forward.
Okay. Do you see yourself eventually moving back to India, or are you hoping that you stay here?
Well, I'm hoping he'll stay here.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just curious. Like it's I could see it either way, right? Like I mean it's kind of depends on what you want to do ultimately. And who knows, right? Like 5 years from now, your overall perspective or potential opportunities could change how you feel about that.
Definitely, yeah, and plus, I know there's like so many talent back home as well. I just have to like I want to open up a studio, like keep a lot of people who are willing to like take care of it, and then like I'll just drop by once in a while, and like but I'll keep remotely monitoring that. And my dad's an entrepreneur, so I think that's like the urge for me also to like open up my own businesses
Mm,
there within me. So
yeah. So Fully's asked in the chat, does this all make you work harder? Like knowing that those odds, like
yeah, definitely. I think I like it comes with being like I told you, like in a new country, right? Like you have to like keep working hard, keep doing something different. Like I come up with like tons of ideas. I don't know how my boss puts up with me, but I keep giving him like tons of ideas, and he's like, open up a doc, write down everything, because I think by the time we accommodate all this, it's going to take like next 2 3 years. So I like to be ahead of the game, and keep I like to like take on more projects and keep working hard, so that like I can like keep leveling up, and be where I want to be, because I set myself goals. I really cannot go into the future without goals. That's something that a quality that I recently developed, and helping me actually be how do I say, like that's helping me actually be where I am today, and my plan's been working well so far, like touch wood. So yeah,
nice.
thank you.
It's I want to man, it's interesting to me how someone who is very very motivated and determined, right? I think that that's a lot of why you've kind of made your way to where you are, right? Because there's a whole lot of like I'm just going to do it, right? Like how do I do it? Then I'm going to do it. And
Yeah.
so when you're in in the position that you're in now, what are you
Mhm.
thinking about as far as like, obviously you're like, I want to do the best job that I can. I have this 5 year goal, but like, what is your kind of daily thought process with your work? Are you focused in like just doing this thing that that I'm assigned to do the best that I can? Are you like, you know what, I need to find ways to branch out and improve my overall skill set? Like, what do you kind of think about day to day?
Actually, a great question because I had a one-on-one with my boss today, and he was like suggesting a new project for me, and then he was like, "Listen, I'm doing all this because I know you cannot just." I find it very hard to just do the job that's given to me because I always keep thinking out of the box, and I tend to like branch out real fast. So my boss, and then the director in my team, and his boss, like everybody has this concern that I will soon, like, keep jumping to a different team. So they make sure that they do their best to like find me, new work. So my boss came up with a new idea today, and it was part of like what I was telling before. So that like, I already have like 4 projects in hand. So this is another one. So he's keeping me really busy for the next year. So yeah.
That totally makes sense.
I mean, every day it's like I have my day-to-day work. I support 14 studios, but at the same time, I make sure that I have a pace that I finish them up with. Like, I keep some time where I can like finish all these, and then I can jump onto like other projects that I'm working on, so that like I'm just not fixated on what I do day to day.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about what you do day to day, and as specific as you can be, right? Like, I'm definitely not looking for any information you can't give us, but as an
Yeah.
example, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection, right? Like, I'm a huge TMNT fan, have been since I was a kid. This is
Yeah.
a game that I plan to pick up soon. What
Yeah.
what is your involvement on a project like that? Like, what did you do?
Sure, yeah. So that's what Konami, if I'm, yeah. So I work with the studio. So let me begin. So when they decide to make this game, they first I mean, when they decide to like publish it in Xbox platform, right? So they bring this game to me. They talk about the game concept. They kind of like give me an overall idea about like what demographics, what psychographics, like what target audience they have, how exactly. I see a little bit of the gameplay. They kind of give me an idea of when they are planning to like completely finish it,
Mm-hmm.
and when they are hoping to publish it in the Xbox platform. So we have like a couple of agreements that they have to like wrap up first. So I approve the game concept, goes back to them. They finish a couple of paperwork. They get back to me. I kind of like test all the certifications for the game. So like the versions that they submit before we publish it. Before we publish it onto our platform, it goes through our internal tool for testing to see like there are no bugs and everything works perfectly in our platform. And then I head back to them with the approval, and then we have a particular launch date that we aim to target, like retail as well as like digital, and then I help them like publish that. So pretty much like the approval process, and sometimes they do have like places where um, they test in like sandboxes and everything that they get stuck with. So I help with the development team to like fix that. So pretty much I get really new questions every single day. So it's not like, okay, this is like I start from A to like Z and that's what happens every day. Like while that happens, I have like tons of questions that come my way. So I do a lot of the support engineer role as well.
So you probably have several projects that are in various level or various points of progress throughout this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you probably work, I mean, you're probably working on several things now that we will eventually find out where, we're through this process and will be shipped that you had a hand in help getting on Xbox.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Gotcha.
I have like I think close to I work with 14 studios, so I have somewhere in the next 6 months like at least 11 games that I'll be shipping new.
Oh, wow. So,
Yeah.
okay. So tell me about a standard day, like out of those, say 11 to 15 projects on a single day, how many of them do you interact with?
I interact with pretty much 6 to 7 studios and close to at least 2 to 3 games per studio.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
so you have to be someone in this particular role that's really good at, you know, like spreading out your workload, right? Like
Mhm.
I tend to be someone who likes to focus on a particular thing, right? And get that thing done. In this case, you're like, oh, you got to change gears a lot, it sounds like.
Yeah, I have to. Forming partnerships is one of the main thing, and maintaining those partnerships is one of key things that happens in my role. And also, like communication matters. Like everything has to go out on time, and every query that comes my way, I need to like be very active and prioritize according to like high to low, and get them on time. So we have like a standard SLA for queries, and then we have like SLAs for like like different submissions, and then like when it's in production, and then when it's coming to like the publishing phase.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So is there
thank you.
anything about your current role that you're not doing that you wish you could do in game development? Like, is there something you feel like, oh man, I wish I could do that, you know?
So right now, since I'm on the publishing side, I kind of am in like, how do I say, like I am focusing on a lot of games and a lot of studios. I want to be able to like be with a particular studio with a particular game. So I
Mm,
want to get that full development experience going forward. So that's one of the other things that I'm also aiming for.
that totally makes sense. Is
Yeah.
that is there an opportunity for you to do that there at some point, or do you feel like you might need to find something different?
No, there is a lot of opportunity for that over here at Microsoft. So that's why I'm trying to like get really good in the publishing phase, because I know eventually when you are a producer for like a particular game for a particular studio, you'll have to eventually know about all this as well. So I think I'm at the right place starting out to know about this. Then I can like go back to doing a proper producer job.
Okay. And is that kind of your what you're trying to do? Like like you're are you actively moving toward that, or it's more of like a if that opportunity presents itself, you're open to it?
Actively moving towards
Yeah.
that.
All right. Just curious because like there's so many different things to do in this industry, right? And that's what I
Yeah.
tell people. Like if you're in this industry, you're probably capable of multiple things, but
Hmm.
then there's certain subset of things you're like, that's what I really want to do, or that's the thing that I haven't got to do yet.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I that's my bigger picture of hoping it happens sooner than later.
Yeah. It's also it's one of those things where people that are first getting their job in the industry, I try to help them understand like there's a lot of roles to play. Early in your
Yeah.
career, you need to play the role, right? Like you need
Yeah.
to do the thing that they need you to do, and to get and get that experience. But you know, you can always be thinking about the thing you're trying to work toward and trying to maneuver yourself or build the skills to make you more desirable in that role. But
Yeah.
early on, you're probably going to do a bunch of things that aren't the top of your list.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, um, I think I'm not able to hear you.
What's that?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry, I
Would you
think
lose
you
me?
cut off.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think
Basically,
it's my end.
I was just saying, like it's one of those things where you early in your career you want to make sure that you're as versatile as possible, right? And then eventually start moving into the roles that you want to do. You can't be so picky early on, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's definitely 100% true. I came to hear. I think somebody at Full Sail told me that please don't be picky at the beginning of your career. Like make sure that you learn, enjoy what you learn, and have at least like minimum 2 to 3 skill sets that you can put to your best use in your very early stages of your career, so that when recruiters reach out to you and you talk to them, they still want to like keep learning, what else, what else. That's all I kept hearing, like, what else. what else is new, what else can you work on.
Yeah.
So and I know that now I'm on the platform side. I wanted to be more on the game development side, but this is also a very major experience for me, and I feel like I'm really at the right place because of how much I needed to know about this. Because when I was also eventually like applying for producer roles, like associate producer roles, and I was getting interviewed, one of the main questions that I came across was about publishing. Like, what do you know about game publishing? So, what do
Yeah.
you know about like different platforms? And like there were like a couple of questions on those bases that I was really struggling to answer because I did not have a clue. But then I learned about that from a couple of people I met at Microsoft. So again, networking was really helpful. I met a couple of executive producers who worked for couple of games like Halo and then Flight Simulator. Her name is Lani Lum. So she right now she moved to EA, but she was there at Microsoft for like over 12 years, and she taught me completely about publishing, like first party, third party publishing, and she helped me understand the pipeline, how the process works, and everything. And that's when I was more strong in applying for roles within the publishing side, and I was able to.
That's what you've touched on is the importance of mentorship no matter where you are in your career, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, is this something, and I think I know this answer because I think I know you well enough, but is this something that you pursued, or is this something that was kind of a situational thing? You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
can be difficult to like, hey, be like, hey, I need mentorship, right?
Yeah.
Like how did you go about cultivating that relationship once you're in your career?
Yeah. So that's actually a really great question. So I pursued this. I was like, I did not do this just because I was so desperate to land in a role that would sponsor me, but I was very much, willing to like learn as I was like applying internally. And I think the first person at work I met was John Henderson. He's still a mentor of mine, and he's really awesome. He connected me with a lot of people at Microsoft. I think I networked with over 250 people. We have like a Viva Insights tool that helps us to see how many people we networked with. So I kind of like saw that at the end of my like as I got promoted, like how many people I networked with in order to land in this role. And every time I spoke with them, I learned about their team. I did not go asking them for a job because that's something that I never do. I just told them that I've been actively like applying, and I just want to learn about your team and your role. And they kind of like talk to me about their team and like what their day to day looks like. And then I still reach out, like have a couple of sessions with them to learn what exactly the team does. So that's how I came across a lot of teams within Microsoft. And then like finally the most how do I say it, I learned was like about publishing, and that was actually like something that really caught my eye, and I wanted to like keep learning more. So I looked for like open opportunities within the publishing side, and I applied.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do
Thank
you
you.
once so you do you always look for let me think of the right way to phrase this.
Mhm.
Are you constantly looking for mentors for specific areas that you're trying to develop, or is it more of like a, hey, I've met someone I think could help me with something and let me try and cultivate a relationship with them?
Um, to be honest, I am constantly looking for like mentors because I'm loves to learn something new every day. So and even when I'm like attending conferences or like just like team meetings or like just collaborating with other teams, and if I come who's like talking about their passion or like who's talking about their work, and if they've done something very impactful in the team, I go to ask them like hey, how did you do this, and like what motivated you to do this. So from that on from that point onwards, like I continue to like ask questions and learn from them. That's like again one practice that I learned at Full Sail when I was constantly like networking with Deanna, with Tom Lacroix, Maya, and so many other people. who actually told me to like keep this as a practice, like have a set of questions and ask them, that you will never know like who impresses you with like answers that like want you to keep learning more about that subject, or that area of expertise. So
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. All right. So we've got about 20 minutes left.
mhm.
I want to make sure that we have an opportunity to talk about the things that are on your mind, because I feel like we've kind of covered, the breadth of what you've been doing. We've talked a
Mhm.
bit about like where you want to be. Is there anything in your mind currently that you're like, oh, we haven't touched on this?
um I I don't think so. Everything, I mean, like we did talk about like from my time back home and coming here. So I think everything is spot on till now.
One question I'm curious about, and this is
Yeah.
a little more of a personal question. I
Sure.
didn't know that your husband was with you now, right? So what is that like? Because he's relocated his life to be with you while you're doing the thing that you want to do, right?
Mhm.
And I know that a lot of people that are interested in this industry are curious about like how does a spouse fit in, and so what has that experience been like for you?
I've prepared him for 5 years now. To be honest, like I know. I mean, like it's a big sacrifice he had to make. I've done a lot of sacrifice as well in order to like be away from him and the family. But I made sure that as I learned, I kept like teaching him. I said like, what, if you come here, this is what we needed to do, and this is how we need to like make sure that once you land here, you get a job. So he actually, to be honest, like he just got a job, so he's inside like talking with someone about the next steps. So
Nice.
yeah, he's been here, like I think it's been like a month now, and he officially got his dependent visa also to move with me to Canada. So they gave him an open work permit that is helping him also to like start his career here.
Nice.
So yeah, I've been like preparing him for 5 years now. I said it's not easy. There's a lot of stress involved, and I saw him breaking his head for the last couple of days after he gave his interview. So, but now he's like finally happy now. It was a big change for him, and he was not really very happy at the beginning. He was like, "What do you expect me to like do here?" And then like as he saw what I was going through, and how much like I was able to accomplish, he said like that's motivating me now also to like keep aiming for like different roles, and he's like interested in studying too. So he's right now like in he's going to start work next week, but then like he moves back to the US with me again. It's going to be a change for him, so he wants to like start to look for like a master's program that he can do here.
Okay. Nice. That's that is really interesting to me, right? Because that's this industry is really hard on the individual that's doing it.
Yeah,
It's even harder on a significant other, like just in general. And
definitely.
it's especially with, when longer hours can come, we're finishing a project, whatever that is. We
Yeah.
we we often don't know when our stressful times are going to show up, and having a supportive spouse is really important, or significant other. But they
Definitely.
also have their own desires, their own dreams, their own things they want to do. So that has to be a constant conversation.
Yeah. I think like 2017 when I decided to move here, the first thing I was very clear with him was, what do you want to do? I mean, I
Mm,
know what I want to do, but I don't want to like put that on you and expect you also to like move in the same direction.
yeah.
So I was like, what do you want to do? I'm ready to like support you, like, cheer for you as to what you want to do, and I help you the best way I can. So I think at that point of time, he was like, I don't have everything figured out right now. We are the same age, so he was like, I don't have everything figured out right now. But then, like, he was working for Amazon back then. And he said, along the way, I think I will slowly, like, find my path. And then he's still fixated on doing a business, but he's right now very focused on, like, working on the supply chain management field. So he said, that's where I want to be. So I kept, like, encouraging him with that. We've had hard conversations, like we have had our stressful like conversations and days. But one thing is, because I've lived the last 5 years all by myself, and I had to like put take in all the stress and handle it by myself. I had like really supportive friends back in Florida and right now in Washington. So all of them have been like a huge pillar of support for me. Like whenever I get like emotionally drained, and like when I get really stressed out. So I think those are the bonds that really help us to actually like be more focused and be more as a family. And and very recently, to be very honest, like we made a couple of friends, like they're also Indians, right, from Washington. And I think this last year they have been like the biggest support for me,
Mm.
because my husband, he wasn't even here, he had to go back and forth, and I was in a very stressful situation. So 2022, I think it was February, was the last chance for me to apply for like a work, and I got like my job like 5 days before that.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, so I was like, it was like neck to neck. But then, so everybody, we play Catan every weekend. So they come home, they cheer me up, and they've always been like, motivating me, and they help me for like job hunt as well. I think without all of them, I don't think we would be able to like keep moving on with her life. So they've been a
Yeah.
huge.
That's man, you touched on two things there that are kind of in my head together, which is finding the right way to kind of have downtime, right? Or to
Yeah,
recover, because
yeah,
this industry is very stressful at times, or not even necessarily stressful, but just like it takes a lot of your energy. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like everything I do, and I'm sure that you do, by the end of the day, I'm tired, right? Like I've been creative or I've been engaged. I've been like in something all day long. And I think evenings and weekends and figuring out the right way to make sure that you're recovering so that your mental health is staying where you need it to be is super important. And finding people that help you do that is
yeah.
really important if that's something that you need, right? And it sounds like for
Definitely.
you found that good situation. That's really
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. That's actually, I'm very grateful for having them all in my life. Like, because stress is not a joke, definitely. And handling it by yourself is definitely challenging.
Yeah.
And knowing that they were also ready to like take time off their busy schedule and give their time, which really mattered a lot to me and to my husband. So like I think that's what got us through a lot of these things. And then like even when moving, they were ready to help us out. And of course, parting for a year is definitely hard from your friends, but I know we're gonna connect back up next year. But like having that support system was definitely one of the key things for us to like take everything in a more positive way, and like okay, it's gonna pass, and we're gonna be good. So yeah.
Yeah, if I want to touch a little bit on the fact that you're in Canada right now, right?
Yeah.
Can you touch a bit on like what caused you to need to move outside of the US temporarily?
Yeah, so my it's a lottery system, like when you apply for H1B. And remember I told you about like you get 3 years of work permit when you automatically like come for a master's degree
Right.
program
Yep.
here. Yeah, so while you are in that time, you keep applying for H1B. So it's a lottery system, and your application has to get picked in order for you to get the next 3 years of work permit. So if that does not happen, we definitely have other options. Like there's another option where you can like continue to enroll in a different degree program, and like study and keep working. Like one of my friends, his application also did not get picked, so he's doing his PhD now, and he's studying and he's working. So that's one option. And then the other option is
Uh,
like some big companies, like Microsoft and Amazon, they temporarily send you to Canada. Like you're there, you're still working for Microsoft subsidiary, but with the same team. And you still get to like process your visa application to come back, and you still get more tries for H1B. So,
That's interesting. So you're doing the same job, you just have to be in a different place, right?
yeah.
The fact that we're all mostly remote makes that easier right now. I would imagine, 5-10 years ago, that was a much more difficult endeavor.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
But it's,
no, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, please go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so you're at a point where there's this year, like is that a you have to be away for a year then you can come back, or how is that kind of structured?
Yeah, I have to be 365 days in a Microsoft subsidiary outside the US in order for me to come back in either like an L1 visa, or L1 is like, again, a different category of visa that you can come back in. Or by the time if the next lottery happens next year and the H1B gets picked, I can come in through H1B or L1s.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how often in your current situation will you have to deal with something like this?
How often? It's purely based on luck. Like, either like, so say for example, I did my master's in 2018, graduated in 2019. So that year I could have applied for H1B, but then I was in an internship position, and you cannot technically do that in an internship position. So I missed that year. So people who apply in the first year, there are like so many people who have got it the first year, so they don't have to go through this. So this situation is very likely to happen. So it's not very common.
Hmm. Okay. All right. We've only got a few minutes left. So I'm curious, is there anything on your mind that you haven't touched on at all yet? And if not, what is some what well one, how can people get in touch with you? Because I know people are going to have questions. Like what
Yeah.
is your preferred method for people to reach out to you?
I'm super active on LinkedIn and Instagram. So yeah, either one of them. Should I put it in
Yeah.
the chat?
Yeah, definitely throw it in the chat. I'll also take that and I'll put it in the show notes whenever we post the podcast version of this as well.
Okay, got it. So my Instagram ID is gamerqueen003, not 003, but 03. And my LinkedIn, it says Nivedita Rajasekaran, but I'll drop the link.
Perfect. Excellent. Yeah, we'll definitely get those added in because like I said, that I get questions like this fairly regularly and I never know how to answer them. So I'm gonna be like, hey, I have someone you should talk to.
Definitely. I mean, please do send them my way, because I'm more than happy to actually mentor. Oh, you know what? Just thought crossed my mind. You said if I missed anything. So while I was doing all this, I got an opportunity to become a women in games ambassador, and also very recently, I got selected to be a mentor for Women in Games International organization. So that was,
Nice.
yeah.
That's
Thank you.
awesome. Yeah, that's great. So what is that involve? Like what is that like?
Yeah, I mean, so I get to share my journey, mentor people who are currently in the industry or looking to get into the industry, who are currently pursuing their masters or undergrad in gaming. So I've been assigned a couple of mentees. So I'm going to start to mentor them from today. Actually, I just started 2 days back. So I'll be having calls with them pretty much like 2 to 3 times a week, and helping them with resume building, cover letter, and helping them build their LinkedIn profile, and just sharing general advice on my journey. And if they come across any if they come across any questions, or like if they need help with interviews, so guiding them throughout the journey.
That's awesome. The giving back part is something I'm super always I love and I'm super interested in. So anytime
Same
I
here.
hear someone getting that opportunity, I love to hear about that.
Same here. I love giving back to the community and helping more women be successful in the industry. So that's the one of the reasons why I applied as well. And I think it's a great opportunity for me to be part of the organization.
Nice. Have you had opportunities to be involved in giving back at Full Sail yet?
Um, from time to time, yes, I've been helping a couple of students, like potential students who are applying, and also I've been invited for a couple of talks.
Hmm.
So, but I'm still looking to do more. But behind the scenes, yes, I've been helping out quite a few people.
Nice. We need to get you back for a Hall of Fame soon. I think if you haven't been on the the fun side of Hall of Fame, the presenter side, I think you'd
Yeah,
enjoy that.
definitely. That's something I would really love to be part of.
Nice. All
Thank
right.
you.
Is there
Awesome.
anything else you want to touch on before we wrap up?
Nothing at the top of my mind right now. But this has been really great. Thank you so much, Jameson. Like I know it's been since like 3-4 years now that I've known you. You've been like super kind and super helpful. Every time I reached out to you for like questions, and even today being here and getting this opportunity really means a lot to me. And this definitely is also a way where I have shared my journey, and a lot of people who are wanting to learn about what I do and what I've been achieving is really amazing. Like I know a lot of people are like even back home in India who are watching this.
Oh, good. No, I super appreciate you just in general, but also being here because you're someone who I always think of when someone's like when we talk about passion and drive and like just making it happen. Like you are someone who decided this is what you want to do and you did it. And I love that. So I appreciate
So
you. I thank you for coming to do this. This has been an absolutely amazing talk. I'm sure a lot of people are going to start to reach out to you as they start to hear this.
definitely, thank you, James, and I'm excited to meet them and speak with them. So thank
Awesome.
you.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to jump off here and say my goodbyes, but I appreciate you. Thank you for doing this, and we will talk soon.